Good afternoon, students. So today we'll see the further part of the fifth module, that is what exactly the applet is, what are the way of representing the applets, then what exactly the skeleton of applet, how to run the applet. Then we'll go for some of the examples by using the applets. So first, as I already told in the class, there are two types of Java programs we can write. First one is a standalone application, which are small Java programs written to carry out a specific task. And another type of a Java program which we can write, it's a Java applets. Java applets are nothing but the small Java programs which are used to run on the internet. So if you want to run this Java applet, you need to make use of a browser through which you will be able to run your applet programs. So there are two types of applets we can write in a Java. First one are those which are based directly on the applet class. These applet use the AWT, that is Abstract Window Toolkit, to provide the graphical user interface. Remember, these applets specifically we are writing to create the graphical user interface so as to have the easy interaction with the programs for the new users. Then second type of applets are those based on the Swing class, which is a JApplet. As Swing applets use the Swing classes to provide the graphical user interface. So in this part we'll see what exactly the AWT toolkit is and how we can go for writing the program by using AWT, and in next video we'll see how to write the applet program by using the swings. Okay, all applets are subclasses either directly or indirectly of applet. So whenever you will be writing any applet programming, it should be a subclass of a superclass called as a applet. These are not standalone programs. Instead, they run within either a web browser or an applet viewer. So if you want to run these applet programs, either you require the Java enabled web browser or else a applet viewer. Execution of an applet does not begin at main. So here in this applet, the main function is not available. So the structure of an applet is somewhat different. Instead, execution of an applet is started and controlled within an entirely different mechanism. To use an applet, it is specified in an HTML file. One way to do this by using the applet type. So whenever you want to run this applet program, there are two files you need to create. One is a Java file which consists of the methods which are available in applet class. Another is a HTML file in which we need to include this code, that is applet code is equal to, in double quotation you have to specify the class file of the applet program. Then you have to specify the width of the window and height of the applet window. Then you have to end that applet. So this code you need to include within a HTML file, as a HTML file will have an extension .html. So you need to save this file with a .html. Then when you run the applet, you need to run this HTML file, which in turn is going to call your Java class file. Then an applet skeleton. All but the most trivial applets override a set of methods that provides the basic mechanism by which the browser or an applet viewer interfaces to the applet and control its execution. So as I told, whatever the applet program you create, it should be the subclass of a superclass called as an applet, which includes some methods. Out of that, 4 methods are init, start, stop and destroy. Apply to all applets and are defined by the applet. So this AWT based applet will also override the paint method, which is defined by the AWT component class. So when you want to display some message or some data onto the applet window, then what the message you want to display, that you have to write it within this paint method. This method is called when the applet's output must be redisplayed. So these 5 methods can be assembled into the skeleton shown here. So now this is what exactly the skeleton of a applet. So there are 2 packages you need to include for every applet program. It's a java.awt.star, another is a java.applet.star. Star, that is asterisk, indicates all the classes interfaces of those package. Next, whatever you it's written in a comment part, then that is a HTML file, that is applet code, applet skeleton, width, height and end of the applet tag. So this is a one separate file you need to maintain with a extension .html. Then public class, name of the class, it's applet skeleton, extends applet, as I told, it should be the subclass of a superclass called as a applet. Then opening brace. So the 5 methods totally we have included within this skeleton. One is a init. Init is nothing but whatever the initialization part you want to do it to the applet window, that you can do it here. For example, setting the background color, setting the foreground color, adding some interfaces so as to receive the notification, that all part we need to include over in this init method. Then after the init method, the next method which is going to call, it's a start, that is start or resume the execution. So this is a method where the applet will restart its execution. Then we have a stop, suspends the execution, that is when you call this stop method of the applet, whatever the applet is running, it stops the execution or suspends the execution. Then destroy, that when you want to terminate the applet and want to perform some shutdown activities, then you can do it within a destroy. And paint method, where redisplay content of the window. So whatever the message you want to display inside the applet window, that message you can display in this paint method, which takes a 1 parameter of type graphics. So this is what exactly the skeleton of an applet. Now once you run this empty skeleton of an applet, you will be able to see the window like this, applet viewer. So name of the applet, that is name of the class, you will be able to see here, applet skeleton. Next you will be having a applet. When you click on applet, drop down menu will be able to see where he is going to have the start, stop, init, all these methods will be able to see over here. So this is what exactly the output of the applet skeleton. So next one, simple applet display method. So now we will see one example, a simple applet program which sets the background color to cyan, the foreground color to red, and display a message that illustrates the order in which init, start and a paint methods are called when applet starts up. So here is an example. So as I told, these 2 packages you have to include in every applet program. So whatever you'll be able to see in the comment part, it is another HTML file. Then public class sample extends applet. So here we have taken a one message, that is a variable or a field of type string MSG. Now as I told, if you want to go for setting the foreground and background color, then that part you have to do it in init method. So the syntax is public void init. Set background is a method available in applet class, so directly you can make use of that. Color dot sign, set foreground color to color dot red, message is equal to inside init. So this is the message we have assigned it to MSG. So when the init method is called. So now after the init method, the second method which is going to be called inside the applet, it's a start method. So after inside init, we are going to append that message with a inside start. So that message will be appended to this part. Then in the paint method, what exactly we have done? We have appended a one more message to that inside paint. So now when you say g.drawString is a method, you can use it within a paint so as to display the content inside a applet window at the specified location, that is 10th row 30th column. That message will be displayed to you. What is that message contains now? Inside init, inside start, inside paint. We have just appended, so plus is equal to is nothing but join the two strings, concatenation. So first it is going to display you the inside init, then inside start, then inside paint. So now if you see the output of this program, it is going to see like this one. So the background color will be set it to sign. Foreground color is nothing but the message whatever it has displayed you, it is in a red in color, that is inside init, inside start and inside paint. So in this order the methods of the applets are going to be called. So next one is the handling mouse event. So in the last video we have seen what exactly the delegation event model, where it consists of the main three components: events, sources and listeners. And we have seen what are the event classes available, what are the listeners available, what exactly sources of events, etc. So in this now we are going to see what exactly, how exactly the mouse events are going to be handled inside this applet. To handle mouse events, we must implement the mouse listener and mouse motion listener interface. It displays the current coordinates of the mouse in the applet status window. Each time a button is pressed, the word down is displayed at the location of a mouse pointer. Each time the button is released, the word up is shown. If a button is clicked, the message mouse clicked is displayed in the upper left corner of the applet display area. As the mouse enters or exits the applet window, a message is displayed in the upper left corner of the applet display area. So here first we'll see what exactly that program is. Here the program is demonstrate the mouse event handlers. So here we have included three packages. One is a java.awt, java.awt.event is another packet you have to include when you want to go for event handling, and java.applet. So whatever, this is a HTML file. So the name of the class is a mouse events, extends applet, implements. Now as the one component of a event delegation event model is a listener, so you have to implement those interfaces. So implements mouse listener, mouse motion listener. Then it has taken the three fields. One is a message of type string and the two of type integer, that is x and y coordinate of the mouse. Then we have its a init method. So in the init method what we have to do, you have to inform to the source regarding that it want to listen, it want to receive the notification about the happening of the event. So that part we have to do it in this init method. Add mouse listener, this is nothing but what, this is nothing but a object, this is nothing but a pointer which will point to the current object, and now current object is mouse events. So now to the mouse event class this pointer is pointing. Next one is a add mouse motion listener, this. So the two types of interfaces we have implemented here. One is a mouse listener, another is a mouse motion listener. So in the mouse listener we have a methods mouse clicked. So set, that is let the x coordinate be 0, y coordinate be 10, and the message will be mouse clicked. So repaint is a method which is going to clear your applet window, and the latest message what that pointer contains, it is going to display in the applet window. Next is a mouse entered. So when you move your mouse into the applet window area, then it shows you the message as a mouse entered. So when you take off the mouse pointer from the applet window area, then it is going to show you the message as mouse exited. Then mouse pressed, suppose you have taken a mouse pointer inside a applet window and you have clicked it, then it is going to show you mouse pressed with x and y coordinates. You can get it by using get x get y. So within the applet window where you are exactly the mouse is pointing, so that value, that is x and y coordinate, you can get it by using this get x get y methods. Then suppose once you press it and release it, then a mouse released event occurs. Again at that time down message will be displayed to you with the x and y coordinate values. So these are the methods available in a mouse listener. Then mouse released is there. Mouse released, that is when you release the mouse, it is going to show you the up message. Then this mouse dragged and mouse moved. So these are the two methods available in a mouse motion listener interface. Mouse drag, suppose if you click the mouse and just go on dragging it, so at that time you will be able to see the message with a star and showing the status that dragging mouse at so and so coordinate values. Then mouse moved, suppose you are going to move a mouse, then moving a mouse at so and so particular position. Then paint is a method, it is going to show you the message along with the x and y coordinate of the mouse. So this is what exactly handling the mouse event. So now if you see the output of this program, you will be able to see like this one when you run that program. So moving mouse at 146,51, it's a x and a y coordinate. Down when you will be able to see that down when I click a mouse within this applet window. So when I click it, then you will be able to see down option. When I release it, you will be able to see up option. When you click and drag it, you will be able to see the messages dragging the mouse at so and so coordinates. So next one is handling keyboard events. This is similar to that of the mouse events. So when a key is pressed, a key pressed event is generated. This results in a call to the key pressed event handler. When the key is released, key released event is generated and the key release handler is executed. If a character is generated by the keystroke, then a key typed event is sent and the key type handler is invoked. So now we'll see the example of the keyboard event. This is what is happening. So the name of the class is a simple key extends applet, which is going to implement the key listener. The key listener is an interface going to consist of three methods. One is a key pressed, key released and key typed. Again we have taken three fields. One is a message of type string. Initially it's a null, x and y coordinate values 10 and 20 in it. So in this we have added the key listener interface. So key pressed, nothing but show the message in the status bar, key down. When the key is released, show the message as key up in the status bar, key. Then suppose the user types any key from the keyboard, then key typed event is generated. Which key the user has typed, that key you are going to add it to the message and calling the repaint method so as to display every time when you run your applet. Then you are calling the paint method to display the message along with the x and y coordinates in the key. Now if you want to see the output of this, it is like this. This is a test. Now this is the key, I have pressed it from the keyboard, so you'll be able to see the messages key up. Once you stop it, key up. When you press it, you will be able to see a key down. Here you will be able to see key down message. So next one is the adapter class. Now whatever just now we have seen an example, that is mouse event and a key event. So if you have added that interface name, suppose it's a mouse listener which consists of 6 methods, that is mouse clicked, mouse released, then mouse mouse pressed, mouse released, mouse enter, mouse exit, like that. And mouse motion listener consists of two methods. One is a mouse mode, mouse dragged. So when you implement these interfaces inside a applet, you have to provide a body for each and every method available in that interface. But there are certain situations where I don't want to override all the methods. Few of them which are necessary in that situation, only those I need to provide a body for that. So for that we make use of this adapter classes. Java provides a special feature called an adapter class that can simplify the creation of event handlers in certain situations. An adapter class provides an empty implementation of all the methods in an event listener interface. So this adapter class is going to provide empty implementation of all the methods which are available in the event listener interface. Adapter classes are useful when you want to receive and process only some of the events that are handled by a particular event listener interface. You can define a new class to act as a event listener by extending one of the adapter classes and then implementing only those events in which you are interested. So for example, suppose the mouse motion adapter class has two methods. One is a mouse dragged, another is a mouse mode, which are the methods defined by mouse motion listener interface. If you are interested in only mouse drag event, then you could simply extend mouse motion adapter and override the mouse drag. You need not to override the mouse mode. The empty implementation of mouse mode would handle the mouse motion events for you. So the following list shows the commonly used adapter classes in java.awt.event package and notes the interface that each implements. Adapter class is there, listener interface is there, component adapter, component listener, container adapter, container listener, focus adapter, focus listener, key adapter, key listener, mouse adapter, mouse listener, mouse motion adapter, mouse motion listener, window adapter, window listener. Means for all these types of listeners, these are the adapter classes available. And if you implement these adapter classes, which are the methods available in these interfaces, only interested methods you can override, other you can skip it. So the following example demonstrates an adapter. So in the following example, it displays a message in the status bar of an applet viewer or a browser when the mouse is clicked or dragged. However, all other mouse events are silently ignored. So the program consists of three classes. One is the adapter demo, which extends the applet. Its init method creates an instance of my mouse adapter and registers that object to receive notifications of mouse events. It also creates an instance of a my mouse motion adapter and registers that object to receive notification of mouse motion events. My mouse adapter extends mouse adapter and overrides the mouse clicked method. Other mouse events are silently ignored by the code inherited by the mouse adapter class. My mouse motion adapter extends mouse motion adapter and overrides mouse dragged methods. Remember, this mouse motion listener consists of 6 methods, out of which we are overriding only one method, that is mouse clicked. And this mouse motion listener consists of 2 methods. One is a mouse dragged, another is a mouse mode, out of which we are overriding only mouse dragged. So other options are going to be ignored by the code. So here we'll see an example of the adapter class. Okay, now you see, as I told, this program consists of three classes. First one is a adapter demo, next is a my mouse adapter, and my mouse motion adapter. So in this adapter demo, which extends the applet, in the init method we have added the listener so as to receive the notification, which creates the object of these two remaining classes, that is new my mouse adapter, new my mouse motion adapter. So in this my mouse adapter, which extends this mouse adapter, we have overridden the mouse clicked method, and we have written a constructor, that is my mouse adapter, which takes a one parameter of the previous class, that is adapter demo, and we are assigning it. Next, mouse clicked is a method we have override, which it is going to show the mouse clicked as a message in the status bar. So next one is a my mouse motion adapter, extends the mouse motion adapter. Again we have written a constructor so as to initialize the value for adapter demo, and we have overridden the mouse dragged method, which it is going to show in the status bar mouse dragged. So remaining all, that is 5 methods of the 5 methods of a mouse listener and 1 method of a mouse motion listener are going to be ignored. They are going to be used the default version. The next one is the inner classes, which already we have seen some part of it in a first module. An inner class is a class which is defined within another class or even within an expression. So the class within a class is called as an inner class. Here we are going to see it. One example, inner class demo is a top level class that extends the applet. Then my mouse adapter is an inner class that extends the mouse adapter. Now if you see the previous example of adapter class, we defined 3 classes. One is a adapter demo, next my mouse adapter, next is a my mouse motion adapter. 3 different classes. Instead of that, you include a one class inside another class, which is nothing but an inner class. So my mouse adapter is defined within a scope of an inner class demo. It has access to all of the variables and the methods within the scope of that class. Therefore, the mouse pressed method can call show status method directly. You need not to create an object of that, and through that you need to call it. So it no longer needs to do this via stored reference to the applet. It is no longer necessary to pass any reference to the invoking object. So we'll see an example of it. Inner class. So we have defined an inner class demo which extends the applet. Inside a init method we have added the listener. We have created the object, and inside the inner class only we have defined my mouse adapter, which extends the mouse adapter, and we have written the mouse press. Now if you see the way of calling the show status method, we have not used the object of a inner class demo to call this one. Directly we can make use of these methods without creating the object. So next one is an anonymous inner class. Now in the previous example, what exactly we have seen, we have given the name to the inner class also and to the top level class also. So inner class demo is the name of the top level class, and my mouse adapter is the name of the inner class. So here, suppose you don't want to give a name to the inner class and directly want to make use of or override the method, that is also possible, which we call it as a anonymous inner class. Anonymous inner class is a one that is not assigned a name. While creation of object, you need not to specify the name of that class. You can directly use that class name, that is top level class name is anonymous inner class demo. So we'll see an example, you will come to know. Now suppose public class anonymous inner class demo, it's the name of the top level class which extends the applet. In the init method, now if you see, we have added add mouse listener, new mouse adapter. It's a name of the inner class. Sorry, we have not given a name of to this one directly. It's a curly brace. Override the method, then complete that with this syntax and like this. Now if you see, we have not given the name as a my mouse adapter which we had given in a previous example. So this is what the example of a inner class. This is what about today's video of the on applets, how to make use of. So in the next class we'll see how we can make use of swing classes to create the applets.